When Claire first said those words, I thought she was joking. No kissing, no hugging, no touch, she told me. Her eyes fixed on her phone screen, thumbs moving rapidly. I laughed, thinking it was sarcasm, but she didn't even glance up. My smile faded as silence filled the room, heavy and sharp. For a moment, I didn't know how to respond. Claire had always been affectionate, at least in the beginning. She used to greet me at the door with a hug, kiss me goodnight, reach for my hand while we watched television. But lately, all of that had vanished, like the warmth of a fire that had burned down to cold ashes. "Are you serious?" I asked, my voice quieter than I intended. She sighed like I was inconveniencing her. "I'm tired. I don't feel like it anymore. Let's just live as we are. No kissing, no hugging, no touch. It's better this way." Better for who? I wondered. Certainly not for me. At first, I swallowed the pain, convincing myself it was just stress or maybe exhaustion from her new job. People go through phases, I thought. But days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Nothing changed. The distance between us grew wider, an invisible canyon running straight through our marriage. I tried to bridge it. I planned dinners, brought home flowers, even offered weekend getaways. She rejected them all coldly, like I was some salesman at the door trying to sell her a product she didn't want. The woman I once knew, the one who laughed at my terrible jokes and curled up beside me on rainy nights, seemed to have disappeared. The real fracture came one Sunday morning. I stood in the kitchen making coffee, scrolling through the bills. Rent was due. Gas bill was higher than usual. Groceries were running low. I placed the papers neatly on the counter, waiting for her to come down. When she finally appeared, her hair was messy, and her phone was in her hand again. "Claire," I said, trying to catch her attention. "We need to talk about the bills." Without looking up, she muttered, "You handle them. That's what you always do." That was the moment something snapped in me. Her coldness, her refusal, her complete detachment. It all boiled over. If she could set rules in this house, so could I. I stared at her. My voice steadies this time. "You don't want kissing, hugging, or touching?" I spoke. She finally looked up, a flicker of annoyance in her eyes. "Fine. Then no rent, no gas, no groceries. Let's see how you like that kind of partnership." Her mouth opened slightly, stunned. For the first time in months, she seemed to realize I wasn't going to quietly accept her terms anymore. Claire's eyes narrowed, as if she hadn't heard me correctly. "What did you just say?" she asked, her tone sharp, offended. "You heard me," I replied calmly. "No rent, no gas, no groceries. If this marriage is a contract where you can erase intimacy, then I can erase responsibility." Her phone slipped from her hand onto the counter with a soft thud. For a moment, there was silence, just the hum of the refrigerator between us. Then she scoffed, crossing her arms. "You're being dramatic." "Am I?" I asked. "You shut me out completely, Claire. No affection, no connection, no love. What exactly am I paying for here? A roommate who barely acknowledges me." Her face tightened, but she said nothing. I could see the wheels turning in her mind, searching for the right defense, but every second of her silence felt like confirmation. That week, I put my words into action. When rent came due, I didn't transfer the money. When she opened the fridge, she found only condiments and a carton of milk. I stopped filling her car with gas. I didn't yell. I didn't fight. I simply withdrew the support she had taken for granted. The first few days, she acted unbothered. She ordered takeout, used her own card for gas, and tossed me cold looks as if to say, "You won't win." But by the end of the week, her patience cracked. One evening, she stormed into the living room, where I sat reading. "This is ridiculous," she shouted. "You're punishing me because I don't want to touch you? That's pathetic." I closed the book slowly, looking her straight in the eyes. "No, Claire, I'm holding you accountable. Marriage is about give and take. You decided to only take. I've decided not to give. Simple as that." Her lips trembled, and for the first time in months, I saw something flicker behind her eyes. Fear, maybe even regret. "You can't just turn everything off like that," she whispered. Why not? I said softly. You did. The weight of those words settled heavily between us. She lowered herself onto the edge of the couch, finally dropping her pride. I didn't realize how far I'd pushed you, she admitted. Her voice was small, vulnerable, like the Claire I used to know. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. The silence wasn't cold this time, but fragile, like glass that could shatter with the wrong word. Then she reached out. Not much, just her hand resting on the cushion between us, the smallest gesture of peace. I didn't take it right away. Part of me wanted to, desperately. Part of me wanted to make her wait, to feel the emptiness I'd been drowning in for so long. Claire, I finally said, I don't need perfection. I just need a partner. If you can't give me that, then this whatever we're doing is over. Her eyes filled with tears. She nodded slowly. I'll try, she whispered. Maybe it was genuine. Maybe it was too late. But in that moment, I knew one thing for certain. I'd found my voice again. I wasn't going to live in silence, begging for scraps of affection while carrying the weight of everything else. And if she couldn't handle that truth, then I'd walk away, this time for good.